to the YouTube channel. We are getting started back on my Mustang again. We are getting back to installing the On3 turbo kit on the car today. We are currently working on scraping the header gaskets off of the heads right now. I'll show you guys that and tell you guys what we have going on for today. So, as you guys can see down in there, I gotta scrape all that stuff off the heads. That's all the old header gasket. The turbo header, I also have to get all that scraped off as well. Then we plan on getting both the heads in, well, the headers, sorry, and the turbo on as well today, and getting most of the intercooler piping ran as well. But for now, we're gonna keep scraping the old header gasket off the heads and off the headers themselves, so everything matches up correctly and we get a nice tight seal. So for now, we'll get you guys a time lapse and keep getting you guys involved. As you can see, we got the turbo header scraped off. We got most of that head scraped off. It's good enough. We still have to do the passenger side over here and get this head scraped. We got most of it scraped off, but we still got to get some work done on it. We got to also move the oil dipstick back so we can fit the turbo headers in it. There's a little bit more work that we got to do. We're going to have to cut a hole in the firewall right about here. So we got to take all these wires and tuck them behind it under the fender well right here, and then get that all buttoned up in there. Move this box to the opposite side of this so all the hot side don't touch it, because right where the hot side of the turbo is, all those wires are sitting. So we need to tuck all those wires up and underneath the fender on the opposite side, so those won't be getting melted by the hot side of the turbo. Then we are basing most of this off of a Fox body, because those are what the videos we can find online are for Fox bodies. Not a lot of people have videos out there for the SM95. So we're gonna basically be guessing on what we're doing. But most of my kit is already put together, as you guys seen in the previous video. I picked it up off of Facebook pretty cheap. So, and I wanted that kit specifically because a lot of the fab work was already done. We don't have a lot of the stuff to do the fab work, or we would put the turbo kit together ourselves. So we're gonna see how that goes. If the turbo's bad or the intercooler piping or anything like that's bad, looks like we're gonna have to figure out how to start fabbing all that stuff up. But we're gonna get back to work. Alright guys, so we got that side all cleaned up. We got the turbo header bolted on and everything like that. We just gotta get everything right there, all clearance and heat shrinked. We also got the turbo side all bolted up. I'll show you guys that. We still need to get the dipstick in there. Still need to run all these wires. We're gonna cut a square in the fender right there, relocate the ignition module, and also take this module off the back of the coolant reservoir tank and also put it behind there as well. I'll show you guys that when we get to it. But we're gonna start working on installing the intercooler now, and we'll get a time lapse of all that and get you guys involved with that as well. But next we need to get the fuel injectors off, because those are 24-pound fuel injectors. We are switching to Ford Performance 60-pound fuel injectors. So we need to get those off and get those done. Don't mind my shaved valve cover. Had to get the throttle body clearance somehow. But I think that's about it for now, and we're gonna get back to work and show you guys stuff later. Alright guys, as you can see, we got the intercooler all mounted up now. We got the brackets all made up and mounted. We had to remove the crash impact sensors. For now, we will be reinstalling them here in a little bit, but just for now they're off. We also had to remove the power steering lines and this part of the other part of the lines. That's because it was in the way of the intercooler. So it sat right behind the bumper right here. So it was hitting the intercooler and getting in the way. So we just removed it for now, and we're gonna end up trying to relocate it either in between there or behind the radiator somewhere. We're not sure yet. We had to run the hot side and all the intercooler piping before we make that decision. We might even go with a manual rack instead of a power steering pump, so we don't know yet. We'll figure that out when the time comes, I guess. But the next step is to start buttoning up this wiring, get the fender off, start getting the ignition module, like I said, and this control box under there all wired up under here and underneath the fender. And while we're at it, we're going to be cutting the hole for the fender exit because we're going to be doing a fender exit. So we also need to do that because the charge pipe goes through there and connects to the throttle body. Alright guys, that'll be it for this one. Just remember to like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. It's just Snapchat.